everyone. Welcome to News to Astonish, where we discuss comics, movies, games, and more. And welcome back to another episode of whatever you call this. We're discussing comic books, movies, games, and, well, upcoming comic book movies. So in this case, we're going to be talking about Thor Ragnarok. And right now, I am joined by my cousin, Chris, over at Gotian's Games, better known as Gotian. Say hi, Chris.
What's up, everybody? Ronnie, thank you once again for having me on the channel.
It's no prob.
What was that?
Yep, I don't know. I'm just saying, no prob.
Okay, well, I'm ready to talk about Thor.
This is the kind of quality. This is the quality that you're gonna get on News to Astonish. Quality that I'm known for.
All right, well, I'm ready to talk about Thor because even though I'm not a big Thor fan, I'm excited for what it's gonna bring.
Yeah, it's all sorts of excitement. Let me tell you, this movie looks like it has everything from action to colors to cameos and to buddy cop movie stylistic kind of movie. And this looks awesome.
It does. It really does. I didn't like the first Thor movie. Again,
I actually liked it.
You did? Well, I mean, a lot of people did, or else they wouldn't have kept making them. But I'm one of those people. I did not like the first Thor movie. I
can say
I like Thor: The Dark World though. That was good.
It's so strange that you say that actually, because that's like the least favorited Marvel film.
I know. It's just for some reason I don't know why Thor: The Dark World. I actually really enjoyed it.
I did like it too, but it's like I don't know why. Like I like Thor 1 better than the second one. But what I think here, and here's the idea: before like the whole conception of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and stuff like that, Thor was in Phase 1, and they haven't even touched upon mystical and magical elements and stuff like that. So they kept the first Thor movie as simple as possible. They didn't want to go crazy with it.
Yeah, and I understand that. I mean, like I said, I've never been a big Thor fan. I never really liked the character so much in the comics. I think Chris Hemsworth does a fantastic job of portraying Thor and bringing life to the character. Because, in all honesty, if they had anybody else playing him, I don't think I would have cared so much.
Right, and he just does a convincing job from like the look to the sound and to like the way he moves as Thor. And I actually happen to pick up some Thor comics, and he does mimic the motions and the way he uses his hammer really well in the comics. Right,
and I've noticed that. Like he's done a fantastic job of portraying Thor, and then the fact that they keep it kind of lighthearted for a lot of the scenes with Thor, because you notice it like when Thor interacts with the other superheroes, because of the way that he's basically a god, you know. He looks at the other guys and he's like, oh, these mortals, but then these mortals can kick his ass too.
Yeah, they can stand up to him and put up a good fight against Thor, and he gives them a second chance and a second look at them. But like to them, he's like, "Oh, you people are so tiny."
Right. So then he's calling these people tiny, and then this tiny person turns into the freaking Hulk. You know, like we saw in the first Avengers movie, and freaking Hulk smashes his way through Thor. So
yeah, I'll never forget the face that he put when he saw it, and like Thor was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, so like, you know, I love the way that they interact with Thor, and I think that's why I like Thor: The Dark World, because he interacted more with a lot of other characters, even though the other characters weren't so much from the other movies, but they were like Thor's friends. We got to see more of his friends in the Thor: The Dark World as opposed to the first movie. So it's things like that is probably why I enjoyed Thor: The Dark World more.
I'm gonna miss those characters in a way, kind of.
Well,
you know, like I know they were like for comedic effect and comedic like relief kind of thing, but I'm kind of gonna miss them. But like I wish Natalie Portman would have returned, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think that was probably a bad choice on her part, not to return to the Marvel movies.
Yeah, so they confirmed that they broke up off screen.
Oh, that's what it is?
Yep.
All right, so you want to tell us a little bit about Ragnarok then?
Yes, definitely. It's really exciting. It's one of like the most well-known Thor stories of all time in the comics. And if you guys want to check out my Thor breakdown video, I do discuss about Ragnarok, how it came to be, and why Thor is the way he is and stuff like that. But Ragnarok is supposedly supposed to be the end of Asgard, Thor's home, and it's destroyed completely by Fire Lord Surtur. This fire gigantic monstrosity of a demon just destroys Asgard.
Okay. So it's basically the end of Thor's world as he knows it.
Basically, yeah, the world is destroyed. His home is destroyed.
So where does that leave him? Are we going to see the deaths of a lot of characters in Asgard?
Yeah, yeah, it's almost like the extinction of Asgardians as we know it. So we're expected to see the death of a lot of characters, and this can be potential spoilers. Just letting you know, I don't know how the movie's going to handle it because they tend to like contradict comic books, or they tend to handle things a little bit differently. But this can also be the end of Odin himself, because Odin goes down with Fire Lord Surtur into another dimension. Not saying that he dies, but like he just goes and takes him down with him.
Isn't one of the plot points that they're looking for Odin in this movie though?
Right. Yeah, they are looking for Odin because Loki was in the guise of Odin himself. So and then he banished Odin and he erased his memory, and then he's on Earth as living as a hobo.
Oh, is that how it is?
Yep.
That's funny. I didn't even know that.
Can you imagine if you're a hobo and then you're approached by a couple of individuals saying that you're like some sort of ruler over a godly like empire or something like that?
Dude. Okay, here's
hilarious.
Here's a big question that I have. Okay, are we going to see Odin force Thor?
Yeah, for the most part, most likely yes. I mean, towards the end of the trailer, I don't know if it revealed too much, but we're most likely going to see Odin force Berserker Thor when he just lets loose and just goes ham.
Because that's a big deal. Like
it is.
I don't
Thor
think
force in this case.
I don't think people understand how powerful Odin force Thor really is.
Yeah, even Odin, when he unleashes the Odin Force, he's unstoppable. One of the most powerful beings in the universe when he does that. But when Thor does it, he just goes crazy. He doesn't even need his hammer because he channels that power through himself. He is the god of thunder.
Right, and I think that's a big question in its own, is because like there's a lot of spoilers from the previews that we see Thor's hammer get destroyed.
Right.
So how does Thor really need his hammer?
Well, his hammer is his weapon and his key weapon, and believe it or not, his hammer is actually sentient, and him and his hammer have a very vital, like they have a bond, together, and that's why they're able to work together. And fun facts for any of you guys want to know: Thor cannot actually fly. Just letting you know, he does not fly. Neither does his hammer. His hammer does not fly either. He can control it telepathically, like when he can actually, have it, command it to come to him. But his hammer does not fly. If you really think about it, Thor is actually he spins his hammer a lot. He tosses it into the air while holding on to the hammer that's being thrown. That's how powerful Thor is.
I see. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah,
I thought he twirls it like a helicopter.
He does that, yeah, but he's actually just throwing his hammer, but at the last minute, grappling onto the handle of his hammer and letting the hammer just fly from from him throwing it in the direction that he demands to throw it at, which is awesome.
I got to go back and watch like the Avengers and see the motions of it, because now that I think about it, now that you mention it, like he starts twirling it and then he throws it up. So yep. I got to go watch that.
He holds on to the. Have you noticed that he holds on to the handle?
Like
the rope strap.
Yeah,
that's him just throwing it in the direction that he wishes, and he just holds on to it.
That's
how powerful he is. Yeah, it's amazing. He doesn't actually fly. It's called simulating flying.
Right, it's falling with style.
Falling with style. But yeah, back to the Thor Force. I'm sorry. I thought it was a fun fact, and I thought it was pretty hilarious. It kind of reminded me of that character from Dragon Ball where like he threw like that log.
Yes, General Tao. He throws the freaking log and he jumps on it.
When General Tao, yeah, he just jumps on it and goes on the ride. I thought it was pretty funny. So it's just Thor going on a ride with Mjolnir.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Thor Force, yeah, he channels that energy, and he can actually channel it. And how that's achieved, and I think, and I broke this down in my Thor character breakdown video. If you want to check it out, I'll leave an annotation to that. When his hammer got destroyed, and I don't know how they're going to handle it in the film, pieces of the Mjolnir are actually not as useless as you think. They are still vital, and they're very powerful, and he can still use pieces of Mjolnir to channel that energy and summon lightning from his hands rather than doing it from his actual hammer.
Now I don't remember if correctly or not. Doesn't he make, or doesn't he take some of the shards and actually put it into his armor?
I believe so, yes, if I'm not mistaken. But he also does get another hammer.
That's what I was gonna ask, if he got another hammer or if it reconstructed itself over time. I see, because there's so much in the Thor mythology that I'm not familiar with. There's just too much.
Another one can be made by a dying star. I mean, that's where they got it, and it's made. The hammer is forged from Uru metal, and that's how the hammer comes to be.
Okay, so then here's another question, because okay, so if he's gonna get the Odin Force, right? So are we gonna see the return of Thor with his hammer in Infinity War, or is he still gonna be without the hammer?
He's gonna have his hammer in Infinity War, but it will not be the same Mjolnir that you know. It'll be the ultimate Mjolnir from the Ultimate Comics, where like it's a battle axe and a hammer end on the other side.
Ooh, okay.
It's going to be a lot longer too. It's going to be a long battle axe. One end will have a hammer, and then the other end will be an axe.
So, are we going to see that happen in Ragnarok, or is that like something that we'll probably see in Infinity War itself?
I think we're going to see that happen at the end of Ragnarok, where he gets a new weapon. That's what I'm thinking. But that weapon will make an appearance at the end at Infinity War.
Okay, so here's the thing with the Hulk. How the hell did the Hulk get over there?
Well, from if you watch Age of Ultron, or if anybody has seen it, the Hulk does take off on his own in a jet, in one of the jets, and just leaves. It looks like he was heading towards like the stratosphere and then leaving like Earth. I don't know if they were capable of going out to space, but maybe I think he might have been abducted.
Okay, so abducted, was he brainwashed, or like how? Because here's a thing that I don't understand is, why is he in the Hulk form so much? Like, we know that he can control it to an extent, but he still doesn't remember it.
Yeah, he does suffer from memory loss when he's in Hulk form, and then when he reverts back to Bruce Banner. But if you ever read Planet War, World War Hulk, or like Planet Hulk, the Hulk was actually banished from the rest of the Avengers team because he was a liability to the team, and he was very destructive, and they couldn't let him stay with the team. So they banished him. They shipped him off in a ship by force. He was locked in a cage and stuff in a ship, and he just got shot into space, into another dimension, and landed on a planet that you see in the trailer of Thor.
Right, and I'm familiar with that storyline.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
In the comics, but see, here's the thing: like in the comics, right? He has something on him that the inhabitants of that world use to control him. Right.
Exactly.
But that's
as far as like, I don't know how they're gonna handle it in this movie, but
right. So that's what I'm saying. Is like, how are they gonna did the game master maybe mind control the Hulk, or maybe mind control Bruce Banner to keep him in Hulk form?
I believe so. I think they might have captured him at his most vulnerable when he was just Bruce Banner, because he had to revert at some point when he was in that ship by himself. But I think he might have been hypnotized or brainwashed while he was Bruce Banner.
Either that, or they must have done something to his adrenaline gland and to keep his anger going all the time. Because that's the thing with the Hulk, is like when he calms down, he reverts back to Bruce Banner.
Exactly. Yeah.
So there has to be some way for them to continuously make him angry.
We did get from the last newest trailer, we did get confirmation that he will be reverting back to Bruce Banner at some points throughout the movie.
Right, and that's where we get the comedy interaction.
Yeah, He also will be speaking as the Hulk. The Hulk will have dialogue.
Interesting. Like something that I really want to see is Bruce Banner in complete control of the Hulk, because there was a good time, or like a good time period, where in the comics he could stay in his Hulk form at all times and he was in complete control as Bruce Banner.
Yeah, exactly. And he was able to speak a lot clearer instead of like speaking like a mindless 6-year-old.
Yeah, he spoke as Bruce Banner. So that's what, like, something I would love to
Yeah,
see
in
down
Hulk
the line.
form. Yeah, that's something I'd like to see too. But we're getting classic comic book Hulk where he speaks in like third person, and he's gonna be talking like that in this film.
Oh, is that how they're doing it? See, I didn't even know that's how they were doing it.
Did you see the last trailer?
I don't know. There's been so many trailers, man.
The last trailer reveals Hulk and Thor having a conversation at the end.
Oh, I gotta check that out. I gotta check it out. I probably
It's
didn't
pretty
see
funny.
it.
Yeah, they're sitting on like a throne or something. They're talking about like how Hulk is more like a big fire and Thor's like a smoldering fire. But like Hulk is saying that to Thor. It's really funny.
All right, I'll go check that out. So, like,
Yeah.
I what is it? I heard from, I think you told me, maybe I heard it somewhere else. Doctor Strange is gonna be in this.
Yeah, yeah, it was me. Doctor Strange is going to be making an appearance in the movie, yeah.
Now, what kind of appearance are we talking about? Is it just like a small cameo, or is he gonna have like an actual role, similar to how Iron Man had a role in the Spider-Man movie?
Kind of like an extended cameo.